Praise the Lord and welcome, friends, to today's video where we'll learn how to create a portrait. First, we'll start by creating the base for the portrait on the left. We'll begin with a reference set and then move on to the outlining and orientation. After that, we'll proceed with shading and continue until we've covered all the details. By doing this, we'll have a clear idea of where to start and end our artwork, making the process more organized. It's important to mark the starting and ending points of each element to maintain consistency and coherence in the artwork. This will help us create a smooth transition between different sections. Now let's talk about shading. We'll use a technique called cross-hatching to add depth and dimension to our artwork. By layering different shades of pencil strokes, we can create realistic textures and tones. Pay attention to the direction of your pencil strokes to follow the contours of the subject accurately. This will ensure that your shading looks natural and lifelike. If you're not using a grid, you can still achieve precise shading by carefully observing your reference and adjusting your strokes accordingly. Start by creating a rough outline of the subject, then gradually build up the shading to add depth and volume. Remember to work systematically from one area to another to maintain consistency. When shading, focus on creating gradients and smooth transitions between light and shadow. This will give your artwork a more three-dimensional appearance. Now, let's talk about the importance of establishing a light source in your artwork. By consistently applying shading based on the direction of light, you can create a more realistic and cohesive look. Start by identifying where your light source is coming from and apply shading accordingly. This will help you create realistic highlights and shadows, adding depth and dimension to your artwork. Remember to observe your reference closely and adjust your shading as needed. It's essential not to rush the finishing touches of your artwork. Take your time to refine details and ensure everything looks cohesive. Remember, patience and attention to detail are key to creating a masterpiece. Now, let's discuss the importance of selecting the right tools for your artwork. Whether you're using graphite pencils or charcoal, choose tools that suit your style and desired effect. Experiment with different techniques and materials to find what works best for you. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. Remember, practice makes perfect. Keep honing your skills and exploring new techniques to improve your artwork. Don't hesitate to seek inspiration from other artists and learn from their techniques. Studying different styles can help you develop your own unique approach to art. Always strive to maintain originality in your artwork. While it's okay to take inspiration from others, make sure to infuse your own creativity and style into your work. Now let's talk about the importance of perseverance in art. Don't be discouraged by setbacks or challenges. Instead, use them as opportunities to grow and improve. As you continue to practice and develop your skills, you'll find your own unique voice as an artist. Embrace your individuality and let it shine through in your artwork. Remember, art is a journey of self-discovery and expression. Enjoy the process and don't be afraid to take risks and try new things. Lastly, don't forget to have fun. Art is meant to be enjoyed, so don't stress too much about perfection. Embrace the imperfections and let your creativity flow freely. Now, let's summarize the key points we've discussed. Remember to start with a solid foundation, pay attention to detail, and stay true to your unique style. With patience and practice, you can create artwork that truly speaks to you. I'll now fast forward this video and provide tips when we begin shading. These are a few tips while you watch the time-lapse. First tip: when shading, use a light touch and build up layers gradually to achieve smooth transitions. Pay attention to the direction of your strokes and vary the pressure to create depth and dimension. Experiment with different shading techniques and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're all part of the learning process. Second tip: utilize the options available to you, such as blending stumps and blending stumps, to achieve smooth shading and blending. These tools can help you achieve a professional-looking finish with minimal effort. Third tip: when sketching, start with light, loose strokes to establish the basic shapes and proportions. Once you're satisfied with the overall composition, you can gradually add more detail and refine your drawing. And there's some more tips. Experiment with different lighting setups to create dramatic effects in your artwork. Play around with highlights and shadows to add depth and dimension to your subjects. Choose the right tools for the job. Whether you prefer graphite pencils or charcoal, select tools that suit your style and desired effect. Don't be afraid to experiment with different mediums and techniques to find what works best for you. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Art is a journey of exploration and discovery, so embrace the learning process and don't be discouraged by setbacks. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow as an artist. Practice regularly, and don't be afraid to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Try new techniques, experiment with different mediums, and challenge yourself to tackle subjects you find challenging. With dedication and perseverance, you can continue to grow and improve as an artist. Remember to stay true to yourself and your unique artistic vision. While it's okay to draw inspiration from others, make sure to infuse your own creativity and personality into your artwork. Don't get discouraged by limitations or obstacles. Instead, use them as opportunities to push yourself and explore new possibilities. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Embrace your individuality and don't be afraid to experiment with different styles and techniques. Art is a reflection of who you are, so let your creativity shine through in your work.